Nation, Performa heroes, welcome to the Performa POPcast. I'm your host, Peter Sers, and today we have a very special guest. So if you guys have been listening from the beginning, you know that some of the people that I bring on to the show are people that I know personally, and then other people are people that I get to meet with you guys. So that's exciting. So this guest today is someone that I'm going to get to meet with you guys. So if you guys have any questions, sorry, too late. You didn't send them to me. You didn't know I was interviewing her. I should probably figure out a way to do that, get people more involved, and then they can ask questions. But our guest today is a Performa ambassador, which is exciting. She's a Performa hero, everything. She embodies everything that we enjoy about it. She has managed to mesh her love of fitness and infuse it with her love of cosplay, which is very unique. And she's also a full-time nurse. So we're going to get into all of that and figure out how she manages to balance those things. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, or any other things that you want to put together, like noisemakers, for Janine.
Hello.
Hello. And she's coming to us from Florida.
Yes.
Which is a state in the United States that stopped caring about COVID like years ago. It's great. I was there in February, and obviously being from LA, it was like a different country.
Sorry.
It was but see, I loved it because I went to perform. But also like I went to be like I was in Orlando, and I was just like, oh, like they don't care at all here. This is great.
No, it's funny walking into the first gas station and I'm just like taking my mask off. Like, is this okay?
Yeah.
Are we doing this now? Do you want to see my vaccine card? It's like I have it, but.
Oh yeah, because you're a nurse, right? So you're a nurse.
Yes.
Okay, so we can talk about. So okay, let me just this is not a question we would normally ask people, but since you're a nurse and you are in one of the states that just decided to be like, fuck it, man, let's do it. like what was that like?
I mean, honestly, wearing a mask at work, we still do it. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
Personally, I like it because I don't put any effort into what I look like at work. So mask,
okay.
Get there, you're good. We were the first to be offered the vaccine, and I can't really express my opinion too much because of my profession, but when there were guidelines in place, Florida did do a good job. It's only until they started opening things up again, we were like the first people to be like, okay, let's try it out and see how we do. But honestly, just people's attitudes, I think, was the worst part. Like I do what I'm told because I don't want to get fired from my job. So if you want me to wear a mask, keep patients safe, I will do it. But like, don't be can we curse?
Yes, you can.
Like, don't be a dick about it. Just everyone was so mean. And like, even though, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but back in January, there was a con in Miami.
A what?
A convention.
Oh, con. Yeah. Sorry.
And they like, I personally, I kept my mask on. I didn't even eat. Like, if I needed to drink water, I like did a quick thing and put my mask back on. But yeah, there was a handful of kids that were like, they had their mask down and everything. But like, people in Florida were so thankful that there was an event, and it was it was spaced out, temperature checks, everything. Like, you weren't even allowed to eat in there. There were cosplayers from different states that were like, how dare you? You're a nurse. You should know better. And I hope you die from COVID. I'm just like, well, that's not very nice. Like, no. And then eventually, like the adult cosplayers, like in my community that I'm friends with, like kind of all banded together, and we're like we got you. We're supporting you. Like, these kids are just probably mad and like 18, 19 years old, like really mean. Right. I was wow, like I thought we were okay. So just people being, I think, was the worst part.
It's really funny because like I said, like, so I've been, not to talk about myself, sorry guys, but like, as a comedian, well, they know enough. People that listen have heard enough about me, but like as a comedian, I didn't get to work for like 6 months, obviously, because everything was locked down. And then once they kind of opened some clubs up, I was like, well, if the places that are open are allowing, and everything was like socially distanced. I still haven't done any shows that are full. Actually, that's not true. I was just in Austin this weekend. Okay, never mind. Up until like a couple weeks ago, I hadn't, everything was like socially distanced, still had to wear masks at the thing. And I was getting stuff from like friends back home and this and that. I'm like, hey man, like same thing. Like I got my card, I'm vaccinated. I'm not, I don't know everything, but like these people are wanting to, it's not like I'm going to their house forcing them to come listen to me do jokes. They're there on their own free will. So it's like if they want to have a good time and they're not scared, then this is America, man. Come on. I'm not trying to get political. Like I did what I needed to do. They need to do. Like, let's just, I feel safer here than I do at Walmart.
Yeah. Oh God, Walmart.
Yeah, exactly.
I literally avoid that place like the plague. Like curbside. Well, I utilize phrasing. Is it too soon to use that term? Avoid it like the plague.
Which one?
Avoiding it like the plague.
Oh, that's funny.
No, but
yeah. So are you a Walmart person or like a Target person?
Publix. That Publix is like the
oh, I don't even know what that is. Is that a Florida thing?
That's a Florida thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I can literally walk to the one. I live in a very rural area of Florida. Like people take their horses to Publix. Like I could.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's nice, but
Publix it has an X at the end, right?
Yes.
Publix with an X. Yeah, I feel like I've seen a commercial somewhere. I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is. Tell us what Publix is.
It is. It's kind of like I don't know if you're from like up north, but like ShopRite, Albertsons,
nope.
Walbaum.
Yes, Albertsons. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so it's like
we have Albertsons.
Yeah, so it's like the Albertsons of Florida.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to talk about this because, like I said, you are the first person that we've had on this show cosplaying. I'm fascinated with this because, I'll be honest, I've never been to any kind of con ever, like nothing. Like I've never been to Comic-Con. See, I know this, but I think I talked about it with one of our guests, Allison. She was on one of our first shows, but she used to work for I want to say like G4, so she would go and like interview people like at all the Comic-Cons and stuff. Anyway, I've always felt, and then still I'm gonna hold true to this, that like one day I'm gonna be like in like a superhero movie or something, and then I'm gonna get to go to con as part of like a panel and then do it that way. Like I don't want to go until I'm working. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think they're cool, but I've never been. So like, let's talk about like, first of all, where does the cosplay, like, where does it even start? Like,
I honestly, the hobby kind of came out on accident. I saw, like, I dressed up as characters, like, when you're a kid, you play dress up and you like,
of course,
adventures or whatever. Like my brother had like one of the original versions of Tomb Raider. I think I was like 7, so I would like braid my hair. I had my little backpack with my wrist gloves, and I'd like run through the woods and stuff, pretending to be her. But the actual hobby came out. I saw Moana, and I'm like, oh, I want to be her for Halloween or something. And my friend was like, hey, if you drive up to Orlando, which is 3 hours north, can you dress up as Moana for my friend's daughter's birthday? And I'm like, if you pay for the costume, like, sure. So I'm looking up these prices, and it's like $200-$300 for an adult costume.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is bullshit. Like it's burlap and a tube top. So I'm like looking, So I just start like looking at crafts and getting some Velcro here, getting some paint. And then I actually like made the costume myself, and my hair is naturally curly.
Okay. So, same. You can't tell, but same.
So since then I'm just like, oh my God, like I can be whoever I want to be. And then thus created like the whole hobby. And then 2017 was my first con, and ever since then I'm like, these are my people. Like I need to go to
so you make your own costumes? Not
all of them. Most of them I do, but
kidding.
I can't sew for the life of me. Like Moana's Velcroed, my Electra, like I kind of sewed that, but then like enforced it with glue.
By the way, that's a great one. Electra. Did you make that one?
Yes. That cost $20.
Okay. No way.
Yeah.
That's great.
$20.
See, because I've always like I don't I mean obviously like I've never done, but like I do like dressing up for Halloween. And I always get mad because like if you go to like a regular costume store, right? Not to brag, but like when you go to a regular costume store, at least for the males, they have these costumes that have like the muscles built in already.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey man, I don't need that shit. Like I got my own muscles. Like this is, I don't know who this
so
is.
funny.
Yeah, like I don't know who this is for, but like just give me one that doesn't have the artificial muscles, because that's why I work out, so that I could be a superhero. Like literally, that's my goal. Like, I mean, I do comedy and I love it, and I will do it forever until I die. But I also do want to be in a superhero movie. So I like when people ask me why I work out. That's why I work out. I want to get that call. You know,
physique, yeah.
Yeah, like that, like it's The Rock, like, hey, how you going? You want to be in Black Adam? I'm like, fuck yeah, Dwayne, let's go, man. Like I've been waiting for this call forever. But so like for girls, I don't know, is that the case with girl? I don't obviously shop for girl costumes.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it depends on the costume. But the cool thing is with cosplay and the cosplay community, like you don't need a specific body type. Like if you want to wear like a bodysuit, onesie, body paint, like fuck it, go for it. It doesn't matter what you look like. And then people hate being categorized as like a thick cosplayer. Like, no, I'm just cosplaying a character I love. If you want to go for accuracy, great. If you're just you and you want to be a superhero, like go for it. But
I
then
get it,
and then Dragon Con, that's like the big one in Atlanta. I think it's coming back this year. They have a Dragon Con. Yes.
Whoa.
If you're bored, or actually no, not if you're not bored, tonight there's a special called The Quest of the Muscle Nerd, and it is literally,
I gotta write this down because I'll forget. The
Quest of the Muscle Nerd. It is literally a bodybuilding cosplay contest.
Oh, really?
And I was actually planning on going in 2019, but instead, and I'm pissed because then I found out after the fact, like after I missed the window, that there was that bodybuilding show at Dragon Con that year, and that month I decided to compete in my first NPC show, and that was like $2,000, so I couldn't do both. And I was like, all right, I'm torn. But that's something I think they're going to be bringing back.
Okay.
Amazon Prime documentary on that show.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch this. I'll report back. No, what I was saying about the costumes is like I'll look and then I'm like, like I don't need the muscles, but then like I'll go on like Amazon and then or like different sites, and then I'll find people that like make them like for cosplay, and then like that's like they make money by making costumes. But they're expensive, like you said. Like
but they are beautiful.
Yeah, I know. I love I wanted to do like Green Arrow. Like I love Green Arrow. Rest in peace to that show. I wish it was still on, but you know, every show has to come to an end. But that was like the one I was like, or like the Flash, or just like so many of them. I'm like, that would be a dope costume to wear, and like I feel like I could fill it out, but I'm gonna have to do it. But damn it.
Well, that's the whole point of being an adult, so you can afford these things, right?
That's true, but I'm not quite. I'm a comedian, so it's like I'm not like a full adult, you know, comedian. We're not like we don't get into comedy because we make good decisions with our lives.
Oh God. No, I think my friend Mark's Deadpool costume is anywhere from like $3,000 to $4,000. Like
wow.
And then the Batman one too.
Did Ryan Reynolds wear it himself? What do you like? I don't understand.
It's the leather, the material, just all the details, the mask. Most of the masks are like I don't know how to describe it. It's like almost like a shell to keep the shape.
Okay.
And then with Batman costumes, there's like the cowl, there's the cape, it is padded because it's Batman. Like you need to.
Yeah, right. So Batman has pads. Like that's part of the costume. Like that makes sense.
Yeah, and then like just the actual labor. That's why it costs so much money.
Wow, $3,000. Like I'm gonna be honest. If I buy a Deadpool costume and I spend $3,000 on it, I better
You're wearing it every day.
Well, and I better have those powers that come with the costume. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. What's okay? So I mean, how long have you been to fitness? Because I've seen some photos that like I saw like you as like the Hulk or She-Hulk, I guess. Are you doing the Hulk or She-Hulk? Because now She-Hulk. Okay. Yeah. And you look amazing, but it's obviously, I'm assuming you were right around the competition because you're like shredded in that.
Yeah, I'm in my off-season building season. No, that was like literally 4 days after my show in 2020.
Got it. 2020.
Yes.
Oh,
Which
like
it's weird because that wasn't that long ago.
pre-pandy or post-pandy?
It was like right in the beginning where like people were messaging me like, hey, is your show canceled? My show's canceled. Is your show canceled? I'm
Right.
like, you weren't even coming, so why are you asking me? Like, I'm literally living on 1,000 milligrams of caffeine and fucking tilapia. Like, stop asking me. Like,
1,000 milligrams of caffeine?
I have an addiction, man.
Good. I mean, you're preaching to the choir. I mean, I might be close. Like if I do like a 2 a day, there's a pretty good chance that that's what I'm taking in, close to that.
That was around like maybe 3 weeks out. Like normal, I'm like maybe a cup of coffee and a bang or one of those energy drinks. But you're literally running on fumes at that point. Like, granted, I might have been one of those people like on what not to do for prep because I was eating like very, very, very small amounts. Like I know it's extreme, but I was like, it's bad.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, just knowing what I know, we've had a few like, NPC people and IFBB people. Sorry if I'm messing it up.
No, you did it right.
But I think everybody's prep is different, just depending on how far they have to be from A to B, how, much they stay in there close to show, there's so many variables that go along with it. So, I mean, I get it 100%. I have always said, like, I've always had the utmost respect for people that compete because I'm literally never going to do that ever. Like I'll work out, I'll do 2 a days. I do marathons and whatnot and all kinds of crazy stuff, but like, that's just something I just will never do. That's just me. But I have so much respect.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you like it, you're going to do it again, I'm sure.
It's just like the amount of discipline I had, I wouldn't have had that if I wasn't getting on stage in a G-string.
Right.
So
that's fair. But I mean, but for some people, that's why they do it, because they know that it's like, okay, I have this thing, so I have to do it. Or just like, like people that have trainers, like if they weren't paying for that trainer, they wouldn't be at the gym. And, it's accountability thing. Like if I didn't have, a race on this day, I wouldn't be logging my miles. Like we all have that thing, whatever it is, that little carrot that we're like, here we go,
Yeah.
So, but how long have you always been into fitness and working out? And okay, let's talk about this. Yeah, great.
So I have 3 older brothers. They were all like wrestlers and athletes, and my middle brother was a UFC vet.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he coaches UFC fighters now. So like and I'm the youngest. So my 3 older brothers were always active, always into sports. I kind of like just did my own thing. I did theater, and then like I cheered a little bit in high school, so like that kept me in shape. But then senior year I got chunky, and then like I just yo-yoed, never having like a set routine. And then in college I was just like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. Like I need to figure out what I'm doing because I was insecure. And I went to UCF. Their gym is immaculate.
That's the University of Central Florida.
Yes.
Yes, that is in Orlando, right?
Yep.
And hold on, and this is just me on the spot. What's Golden Knights?
Yeah.
Is that right?
You're good. Wow. How did you?
This is a pop culture podcast. Okay, I'm supposed to know these things. This is why I was hand selected of the millions of applicants to be the host of this POPcast. I love sports, so you were good.
So this was like, what is it, like 10 years ago? I started like getting in the gym, but I kind of just did like cardio, Jillian Michaels workout videos, meal replacement shakes, and then like occasional weights here and there.
How do we feel about Jillian Michaels?
So I liked her back in the day. Like this was
past tense,
10, 11 years ago. Now I'm seeing all these videos of like the things that she says. And just after being in this industry for a couple of years, I'm like, that's not right. Like,
yeah.
And then I see her like on Greg Doucette's videos, which I love that man. And they're going back and forth. And like, I love him. I listen to what he says. And then he's basically like calling her out on the things that she's saying. And I'm like, no, it's not, no.
Yeah, I'm impartial because
Mhm.
I agree with certain things that she has said, but I
Mhm.
disagree with other things. But
Right.
I worked on The Biggest Loser way back when, um, and it's whatever. I'm going to be very diplomatic, but I agree with some stuff and I disagree
Mhm.
with some stuff. I'm just curious because some people like either love or hate. So it's like,
No, no. If I ever met her, I would probably like break down just because she was the first person that taught me what like a burpee was,
mhm,
squats. Like my delts showed up for the first time in my entire existence because of her, and I was like, oh, like
okay,
this is
yeah,
like so, But you have to evolve the more info comes out. You got to kind of
of course,
grow
yeah.
and adapt to it. So that's
We,
my only thing.
you should at least.
Mhm.
Most
You should.
people, yeah, you should. Most
Mhm.
people, I mean, and some of it is, I don't know. I don't want to say ignorance, but I think some
Mhm.
people just don't take the time to educate themselves, and they
Mhm.
just kind of stay stuck in their ways and like, well, this worked for me 10 years ago. It's like, yeah, well, you got to recognize that your body changes.
Mhm.
Your hormones change. Like everything changes, and you can't work out the same way sometimes. You can't eat the same way sometimes. So it's like
Oh
it's
yeah.
recognizing those things and being like, okay, here's where I need to make my changes. Bam. But not everyone will admit that
Mhm.
there's changes happening, or they get stuck in their ways, and it is what it is.
And
So I
that's
encourage you guys all to educate yourself. You didn't have I'm not telling you to spend a bunch of money on a trainer or whatever. I'm just saying, like, there's the internet. We have access to so much information nowadays, you know.
YouTube has been fantastic for me.
Yeah, I've learned so many things on YouTube.
Mhm.
I know how to crochet. No, I don't, but you could probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so you learned and then you just kept evolving after college, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Okay. Uh, how is it? Because you're a nurse. What kind of nurse are you?
I work. It's a floor called step down or progressive care unit, so it's kind of like in between a medical floor and the ICU.
Okay.
So if you need a higher level of care, but not like ICU, you come to me.
Okay. Fair enough.
Mhm.
Uh, so I mean, that's obviously got to be long hours, of course, right?
Oh yeah.
Very demanding job. And
Mhm.
so to balance that, but also, in your case, like getting ready for a competition or
Mhm.
just honestly just finding time to work out. Because I
Yeah.
know nurses that, they might work 12, 15 hours,
Mhm.
and then, but if it's a priority, you still got to make that time. So like,
Mhm.
how do you figure out a time, or how does that work with your schedule?
My last two shows, I was working night shift, so it was a lot easier just to kind of wake up a little bit earlier and then go
Uh-huh.
into work. And then
Yep.
I'm not saying this is always the case, but night shift, if you get your stuff done, you know your patients, you can kind of like bundle things. There is a little, like an itty bitty window where you can just kind of like catch up on your charting, look up the patients if they call, you go in. But like day shift, administration's there, all the doctors are there, they're throwing in orders, and you just kind of have to like go and like go about your day. So night shift, it was a little bit easier to do a competition,
Okay.
but day shift, I've been on days a little over a year now. So like if I go after work, I'm not getting home until like 9:30 at night. But right now I'm only training like working out 4 days a week versus 6 days a week,
Right.
a lot of
Four,
cardio.
four is still great. Don't beat yourself up. I mean, think about. I mean, and I'm not trying. This is just me and what I know, but like we live in a country where the majority of the people don't exercise at all,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, you know, to even I mean, I tell people it's like, yeah, like
Family workout.
everyone's different, but 4 days a week is great. Like you're maintaining and whatever, like you don't have anything on the calendar. So it's like you're just maintaining your health, feeling
Mm-hmm.
better. Obviously, it's good for your mind. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
that you do that. I know I tell people this all the time, but like I train because one, I just want to look good. I want to be a superhero, but also like
Feeling
it
good.
just yeah, it just helps me feel better. Like if I don't I take rest days just like everybody else, but like on my rest days, sometimes I'm just like, oh man, like I feel like I should be doing something. But
Yeah,
even though I know that like I need to
you need to rest.
rest, like you
Mhm.
have to. That's where your gains come. that's where, you know, like if you're nursing anything, it's like, it's okay to give yourself a day to rest. Like you're not going to lose anything by taking a day off, but sometimes, you know, it's just hard. Like, even though I know better, it's just like to program that in my mind, like, you know, but also I like the way I feel afterwards. I feel like a superhero, you know? So, but we got to go back to cosplay because this is fascinating to me. So like, okay, like you're dressed as the Hulk, right?
Yeah.
So how much like body paint or like how long does that even take?
That was actually an edit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're not really green?
No.
Oh.
That was a really, really good edit.
Hold on, I gotta look. I mean, if you guys want to look at this, we can look at this, but I'm gonna look at it in real time. Sean, you can pause it if you want. Sean's the sound editor, guys. While you guys are listening to this, Sean is editing. Okay, so if you guys can see this picture of her in the camera.
It's like 30 pounds ago. Oh my God.
Okay, so this is all post editing?
Yes, that is photo by Kaz. He does a lot of like Florida shows. He does photography for them and does a lot of fitness photography. But he's a big nerd. He's a big nerd too. So I met him actually a week after my first show in 2019. I was a guest at Gamer Comic Expo, which is a convention here. And he just comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, hey, I'm Kaz," and then we met and we just kind of connected on there. And then
that is so you guys. I think we're gonna figure out a way to include this when we release this episode, because I mean it does not look because everything else around it is the normal color.
Yep.
That's amazing.
It's like the perfect shade of green too.
I mean, yeah, it really did. So I thought this was body paint. So you are actually your normal color.
Yes.
Maybe tanned, but
stage tan.
And he went in and did the green. Oh wow, that's very interesting. So okay, so let me ask you this. So like who's your favorite superhero?
You do Marvel or DC?
That's it, up to you.
This one, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Okay.
That one.
Wait, is that her shield up there?
It's literally a plastic shield from Ruby's, but like if you can't even tell, she's hanging.
I've seen there's they make I don't know what it feels like, but like there's like a Captain America shield that like they've been selling like. Oh wait, is that what's that in the background?
That is actually a friend gifted that to me. That's a reflection, but it's like over here. That one's kind of heavy. That one's like 30 something pounds.
Okay, maybe that's the one I've seen. It comes like
there's one that it's like a boomerang type thing.
Yeah, I need that, and my girlfriend won't let me get it. It's like, you have too many shaker cups, and you have too many. I'm like, dude, first of all, you can never have too many. You can never have too many shaker cups because you need one for water. You need one for pre-workout. You can't mix the same one with protein powder or like whatever. Like, yeah, exactly, right? Even if you wash them out, they're still like. And also, I know that like I go to like all these fitness expos, you know. I mean, they're not cons, but they're expos, they call them, and like they sell like those like there's like special soap that's supposed to help the like complete. It doesn't fucking work, dude. It's the same. This is regular soap, dude. It's like, I'm like, come on. And there's also company, you know how like you know, all the like fitness companies, they have like, you know, like a dry fit material shirt or whatever. And like after a while, no matter how many, if you wash it, it's still like after a while, it just kind of leaves a smell, maybe like just a little faint one. And this soap is supposed to like eliminate that. That doesn't work either. So I'm sorry. But if you work for a company that claims to make the soap that makes the protein remnants go whatever, like, I don't believe you. I'm sorry.
I just try to wash it like immediately after.
I mean, you try.
I try.
I know.
There. And then there's the one that happen. Back seat.
Okay, so Wonder Woman's your favorite character.
Yes.
Why?
Oh, how far back you want to go?
I don't know. I mean, are we going back to like some childhood stuff or what?
No, like early 20s.
Whatever, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I was like 22, 23. I was in a completely different field. I was a juvenile probation officer.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I got out of like this really, really shitty relationship. I like kind of went into hiding. I didn't see any of my friends for months. I hated my job. if you think like working in law enforcement's bad now, that like it was bad then too. And I was working with kids, and I wanted, like, I literally wanted to take them home and like get them out of their terrible environment. And my dad was a retired cop in New York. He's like, you need to get out of this job. Like, this is terrible. So I ended up like, this was when I was trying to apply for nursing school, and I was just beating myself up. I was miserable. My friends like, we need to go out. Like, we need to have fun. Let's go out. And I'm like, and it happened to be Halloween. And my good friend had a Wonder Woman costume. And I was just like, will this even fit me? And like, of course, I was like trying to still be in shape then. And I put on the Wonder Woman costume. I put myself out there again. And I'm just like, I feel pretty good.
Okay.
Like, I feel empowered.
Yeah.
And then just from there, like, I just like the character, not a specific actress that portrays the character, but just the character itself.
Got it.
Like,
okay. That's fair.
Can I show you something actually?
Yeah, show us.
All right. So I got
we've turned this into an episode of Cribs.
Yeah, there you go. So I have the golden armor one. I got that one.
Oh wow.
I have like a wall of Wonder Woman here.
Oh wow.
Stuff, yeah.
Okay.
So
wait, do you play the guitar?
I try. I'm not that good.
Okay. So so just be honest with me. Did you like Wonder Woman, the film?
The first one, yeah.
That's what I was gonna get at.
The first one, the origin story was awesome. And let me piggyback that off of like, I know the origin from the comic, but I try, like, I keep an open mind because there's so many different issues and versions of the character going back from like the 40s. I went in with an open mind, like just this version, like this movie. And then like
not even expecting it to be this timeline, just like, I'm just going to be entertained. Got it. Yeah.
And
see,
I like the first one.
I talked about this to people, but like, and I'm embarrassed to admit it because this is a pop culture podcast, but I did not read comic books as a kid.
That's okay.
So, well, I mean, some people are weird about it though, because like I love I watch literally all the DC shows that are on. I watch all the Marvel shows. I see all the movies. Like, I love it. Like, but on the screen, I don't want to read. I don't want to do an assignment. Okay. But
that's another thing. I think the thing I dislike most in cosplay, there's not a lot, but like the gatekeeping thing.
Well, what do you mean?
Oh, so I grew up with so I have an older family. I'm the youngest, but my brothers have all the comics. I collect the comics. I don't really read them because I grew up with the cartoons, like the X-Men cartoon, the Spider-Man cartoons, and now the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the DC universe, like the live action. Like, I'm okay with that because I don't have this whole like history of the comics. But there's a handful of like not cosplayers, but just like, I guess, like nerds that gatekeep. Like, no, it's not like the original, and this
exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
It's like, why? You don't need to enjoy a show from the beginning or enjoy a character from the beginning that it was created to like it. Like, even with anime, like someone at a con told me like, oh, you watch the series but you don't read the manga. I'm like, dude, just go.
Yes.
Like, who cares?
My answer, and I'm sorry, but I don't know if I've ever spoken like this on this podcast.
Oh.
But whenever I get, because like, you know, you get it on social media and people are like, no, because in the comic, I'm like, look, man, I'm sorry.
Issue number 74. Like,
yeah.
Stop it.
I'm like, sorry, dude. When I was in high school and college, I was too busy trying to have sex with girls. I'm not fucking reading comic books. Okay. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, that's me. I like being like, I love going to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I used to work in a movie theater, which was like the coolest job at that time.
Awesome. Yeah.
I mean, I was in college. I was working at a movie theater, but like for someone who likes the experience of going to a movie, like the big screen, the surround sound, I don't like popcorn only because I know how we used to clean out the fucking popcorn machines when I worked at the movie theater.
Oh my God, come on.
I'm sorry. This is going to be, millions of people are going to hear this. Okay, listen to me. Okay.
Oh God.
I worked at a movie theater from 97 till about 2000, roughly. Right. I was in college. I'm dating myself. I don't care. And we were supposed to clean out the pot, and we would, but we would clean out the parts that we knew were going to be checked by the manager at the end of the night.
It's gross.
It is gross, which is why I don't eat popcorn now, because I'm at the movie theater, because I know that if I did that, 20 years ago, what are these fucking kids doing right now?
I forget what movie was out when I was in prep, but I actually brought my like Ziploc baggie of cod in the movie theater.
Oh no. Did it smell?
Yeah, of course it did. It's cod.
Oh man. I would have been really upset. Man, who the hell has fish in the movie theater? But the point being is I still like the smell of it. It adds to the ambiance of a movie theater. And then now, we have like, I don't know what they have. I'm sure they have some, but like now in the days of like, stadium seating, and then like even more like the screens that are kind of curved. Like there's so many just improvements they've made to the movie going experience. I love that. So I love just going and, learning about the Joker's origin story, even though there's like going to be like two different like there's going to be two different versions now on the screen. There's going to be a black DC and a regular, and it's like, whatever, dude, just sign me up, dude. I'm there. I'm going to be entertained for 2 hours. And that's what it is, man. Like, I'm not trying to cross-reference it and being like, no, his character, like, just be entertained.
Just enjoy it.
Yes. Just enjoy it for 2 hours. I actually love, do you watch Titans? I love it.
You're gonna like my next post tomorrow.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm doing Donna Troy, but like her.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask, because we were talking about Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I love what's her name? Connor Leslie.
Connor Leslie, yeah.
By the way, I have a girlfriend, but if for some reason, first of all, if Connor Leslie is listening, we'd love to have you on the podcast. Yeah, but also, I just think you're gorgeous. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Yeah, she's so pretty. I mean, like, it's like one of those things where you're like, I feel like you should be a model, or maybe she was. I don't know, but like, I just every time she's on screen, I'm like, yay. I don't know. I didn't know who she was before.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Most of the people on that show, I'm like, I don't know where they got all these kids, but like, they're great. Like, I love that show. I feel like the DC shows, this is just, I don't think I'm like, I feel like they're better than most of the DC films. I mean,
but this is coming from someone who I didn't read the Titans.
Exactly. Yeah. No idea what's going on.
Open mind. I know the characters, but not the storyline.
Right. I don't know the stories. I don't know where Dick Grayson came from. I don't know how Aqualad came to, like, I don't know any of these things, but I'm enjoying watching it. I love Doom Patrol. I think that's a show that like more people need to watch this show, because it's so funny.
Far-fetched too. It's like,
yeah, it's like,
so
but
creative.
It's like Brendan Fraser's character, I forget what his name is, but like he gets the best lines, and I'm like, this is so entertaining. And I feel like, because it's on, like, now it's on HBO Max, so maybe more people will see it, but like when it was on the DC streaming app, whatever, like I don't think enough people watched it. But it's and like what's her name? Diane Guerrero is my favorite. I loved her in Orange Is the New Black. She's the girl that plays like the multiple personalities,
Miranda, and everybody.
Yeah,
I don't know how many names she has.
Yeah, she has. I mean, she plays like 5 or 6 different characters, and she nails all of them. Kind of like, did you ever watch Orphan Black? Oh, okay. So, but you know the show though, right?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So Orphan Black. Sorry guys, this is a pop culture. We could talk about it. Orphan Black was a show. It was on, I want to say Sci-Fi Network, maybe. I could be wrong, but like, it was about this girl who was an orphan, hence the name. And then she finds out that she's actually a clone. So over the course of the show, it was on for like 6 or 7 seasons. She starts finding out, like, there's this evil science research company that created all these clones. And so throughout the show, she's meeting all of her sisters. Gotcha. And so she's playing all these different characters. And she finally got nominated for Best Actress or for an Emmy. She didn't win, but I thought she should have won, because she played so many characters so well. but Diane Guerrero in Doom Patrol, it's very similar because she plays so many different characters and she like nails them. So anyway,
I like her as I think Baby Doll the best.
Yeah.
How she
Yeah.
throws
Yeah.
voice,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a great show. I love, like I said, I love all, I just like to be entertained by all the shows. Okay, so Wonder Woman is your favorite because of it kind of
DC.
Oh, so you have a favorite Marvel person too? Oh, okay, go ahead.
This chick right here.
Oh, I don't even know who that is.
Rogue.
Oh, Rogue. Okay, see,
Rogue.
okay, see that Rogue. I didn't see the bottom. So
Yeah.
that would be okay. That's Anna Paquin,
Ow, Jesus.
right? Anna
Sure.
Paquin played Rogue, right?
In the movie, yeah.
Yeah, and then they didn't. She still plays Rogue, right? Because they keep going back and forth. X-Men's a little confusing.
That's one that I watched the cartoons growing up, and I had an idea for Rogue, and I loved Jubilee because I like 5-year-old me. I thought fireworks coming out of your hand was the coolest thing.
Right. Yeah.
But Rogue literally can absorb anybody's abilities.
Right.
They did not do her well in the movies, I don't think.
Okay.
Like at all. And that's the only one that I will be a critic for, because she was such this like badass Southern belle, sucked up Miss Marvel's power. She can fly. She could do all this shit in the X-Men cartoon. And the X-Men movie comes out and she's like, I can't kiss my boyfriend. Like, really? You had all these movies to make Rogue like amazing, and you did that.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. And then Jubilee, like they just forgot about
her. Right. But like the timeline is a little tricky because
it's very confusing.
They go back and forth, and there's like the young and then the old, and then but like I think now they're caught up, and who knows what they're gonna. I don't know. I can go on and on about this also, but we don't need. We can talk about you. Okay. And I can go on and on about it. Okay, so I mean, I don't want to answer this. If like, do you want to be a nurse forever? Do you have like other goals? Like
yeah, I mean,
I don't want to get you fired.
Oh no. They need us. They really do.
Yeah.
So I'm actually in school now.
Okay, great.
Again, to try to be a nurse practitioner.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means.
That's okay. I'll tell you. So right now I work in like as a bedside nurse. I have a bachelor's degree in nursing. So bedside nursing, you do like everything. You help them get like you'll have like a nurse's assistant if you're lucky, like for that shift. But you're basically like getting them out of bed in the morning, checking their incisions, you're doing dressing changes, you're turning them if they're bedbound, you're helping them walk, especially like if a patient just had open heart surgery, like they need to walk like 4 times in a day. And then now that like visiting hours are limited, like as soon as family comes, like they need something right away, and then the doctors are around, and then they'll need you, and it's just like, and then the little bit of time I get to actually like talk to my patients, and if I'm in there a long time, I get behind. Like I want to talk to them, I want to like give them some suggestions on things, and then I had one that actually like literally died in the ER, and they brought him back. And we were talking about like lifestyle changes, and I got to actually sit down and talk to him more.
Oh, he died, but then they revived him.
They brought him back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a horrible ending to the story.
No.
Okay,
No, and I even said, I'm like, so what are you going to do now that you're like, you got a second chance? And he's like, I'm going to spend more time with my son. And I'm just like, oh my God, like my heart.
That's great, right?
Yeah. So just talking about lifestyle changes with him. And then sometimes like, for a different situation, the surgeon will come in. Depending on the surgeon, he'll explain like, okay, so I did this and this and this, and then he leaves. The patient's like, what did he just say? I'm like, oh, here, I'll show you. So like I drew a picture, and I'll try to teach them on my end. And and I like the talking and the teaching a little bit more than the labor intense like pushing patients and calling doctors because the residents are ordering like double the amount of potassium. I'm like, do you want me to kill this patient? Like, can I get rid of this order?
Right.
Like, it's just, I don't know. A lot of little things that they don't teach you in school is what I do in my field of nursing.
That's like,
with an advanced degree, and especially in Florida, nurse practitioners can do almost everything a doctor can do. Almost.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Depends on like what specialty you're going to.
Okay. So that's what you're going to school for right now.
Yes. And I don't know what area, like what field I want to go into.
Okay.
But with that degree, you can specialize and like pick what you want to do.
Okay, I like it.
But
And then I'm
the
sure. I mean,
school is a lot of money.
School.
The school is a lot of money.
And then what about like what would be like, I mean, obviously you enjoy cosplaying.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be like what's like the pinnacle of cosplaying? I don't know.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like there's a handful of people, like I don't know if you know who Allison Tabitha is. She has like a million followers and she sells like
A million.
templates. A million. She hit a million.
Wow.
And I met her. She's one of the nicest people in the community you could meet, but she has like tutorials and like templates and stuff you can buy to like make supplies and stuff. And I know she has a main job and then she does that. But like this is something I just enjoy doing.
Why does she have a main job if she's got a million followers? I'd be like, peace out, main job.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't ask her. I don't keep up with her work that much. But like there's not like a ton of like I can't make a living off of it. It's just something I do, like I enjoy. Like some people go out on the weekends or they go do their own hobbies or into cars. Like I like nerdy shit and work.
Yeah. I love it.
That's my thing. Like I like the art too and everything. So.
Do you ever work out in your cosplay costume?
No, they are not tactical like at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I worked in a gym for years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one Halloween. I was in Hermosa Beach and the X-Men came in their costumes and they were working out and it was hilarious.
So
it was so funny because they were really working out, but they were all like, they were different X-Men, like Wolverine and Cyclops. And I was just like, this is awesome. I love these dudes. I don't even know who these guys are. Yeah. I feel like I would do that, but okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions. These might be a little bit harder to answer. These are thought-provoking questions.
Those are the best kind.
I agree. I mean, but I like to just converse and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can apply these towards nursing or cosplay.
Okay.
Okay. Who are 3 people that have been the most influential in your life? You don't have to know them either. Told you.
That's hard.
I told you. This is why I wait.
Influential in what, like, but like how?
I don't. That's up to your interpretation. Like, okay, like I mean, like if you asked me, I would say Justin Timberlake, Kobe Bryant, and The Rock. Those are 3 great people, and they've all influenced me in different ways. But Justin Timberlake, because I've been to so many concerts and like it just makes me cry to see 20,000 people singing and just like it's so inspiring, especially since like he and I feel like I've never met him, but like I remember him from the Mickey Mouse Club, so I feel like we've kind of grown. We're about the same age, so we've kind of grown up together, and just to see where he's come from the NSYNC to this, and then Kobe is just like the biggest work ethic. Like no one outworked Kobe. Like I've read books about it. I've worked with his trainer. Like it's crazy how how much attention you pay to detail and the work you put in. And then The Rock is just like, because like, come on, he's he's up at 4 o'clock in the morning in the Iron Paradise, getting my workout in, guys. Make sure you drink your Zoa. Like it's like, yeah, dude, I got it.
I don't think I have that.
You can pass.
Yeah. Because it's mostly people I know. It's not.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We've had people that it's like my mom, it's my this, it's like, those are mine,
Yeah.
But we'll ask you a different question. What's a common myth about your profession that you would like to dispute or prove wrong?
A myth that we're mean.
Nurses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they had that whole like especially nursing students, like the whole like nurses eat their young type thing. Like I've never had that. Like they're usually very open to us, but it depends on the situation too. Because if you're a family member and you're coming in and you have a nurse that's not really like explaining things to you, but first of all, it's like the doctor's really job, but you'll hardly ever see a doctor when you're there in a family perspective. But I don't know. Like, okay, we are overworked. That's one thing.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not a myth.
yeah, I just assume that, like, especially, I mean, by the way, I'm not trying to be cliche. I can't
No,
imagine
you're
what you
not.
guys were going through this last year with everything
Mhm.
crazy and whatever. So, like, thank you, because I know a lot of
You're
nurses
welcome.
that were like, like crying and like whatever, like it's just like I don't want to go to work, but I have to. Like, yeah,
That was
dude, like,
me.
yeah, I mean, like I can't imagine, especially like early on when we didn't know anything and there's just the hospitals were full and just so yeah. So
Yeah.
to all of us, thank you for your service.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, like I just imagine that every nurse just works their butt off nonstop. Like,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, there's definitely more good days than bad, that's for sure. But I didn't actually work on like a designated like Rona ward.
Right.
But yeah, I mean they were there. So they had to
Yeah,
kind of like reorganize the hospital to like
of course.
make it fit or like make everyone like I don't know, accommodate, I don't know. But I don't one thing I don't like is that whole like, oh, I haven't peed in 12 hours, I haven't eaten all shift. Like I I eat every, 2 to 3 hours. I
Yeah.
make sure I go to the bathroom. I don't like the glorification of nurses like not taking care of themselves.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. Like I'm like, no, even when I'm like training a new nurse, I'm like, no, like if you need to eat, go eat. Like and then come back. Like tell us you're gonna eat and then come back.
Right. I
Like
like
I
it.
don't obviously it depends on the situation. Like ICU is a lot harder, but I don't work in the ICU.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. I literally like run in, I'll like eat, and then go back out, go back out to the
Yeah.
floor. So I don't like the glorification of the overworking of nurses, but I
Okay.
mean it's something
You
that
hear
you
that?
can't get
You hear
around.
that? You hear that, nurses? Eat
Go
your
pee.
snacks. Yeah, go
Like go pee.
pee. Go pee. Get some caffeine. You
Oh
know.
yeah.
Um, what are there any, this is a tough question. Um, what was your biggest failure in life or one of your biggest failures, and how did you learn from it?
Actually not a biggest failure because like with my previous profession,
Mm-hmm.
I learned like I mean hats off to the people that know what they want to be for the rest of their life at 17. Like my dad was a cop. I wanted to be something in law enforcement. I wanted to, be a hero and change the world. Like that's not obviously with what you see on TV now, that is not a job for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave that at that. But I learned and I changed and I got out of that field. And I'm very, very thankful that I did because I think it led that on like my path that I'm on now.
Yeah.
But honestly, and this is no disrespect to the NPC community because I think there's a right and wrong way to prep. Both of my shows, I have more issues now with like my self-esteem and my body image after I competed.
Right.
And I think the same thing, unless you like have to compete, if you've never competed before and it's just a bucket list thing for you, don't do it. There's no point
Okay.
because that physique on stage, genetically, I don't think I'm meant to look like that
Right.
ever.
Yeah. But this is we were talking, I think we talked about this before we started recording, but like
Mm-hmm.
this is
Yeah.
something that's because I know so many people that compete and it's a very common thing. It's like, it's so some people might genetically be gifted,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe, and
100%.
they can maintain, I mean, to be like as lean as they are on stage is almost impossible. Like, let's be honest, right? Like
Yeah.
year round with eating like a normal person's diet, but like some people can stay closer to their show physique than others, right?
Yeah.
But that's a thing, like post show, it's like, oh man, like it's very common for people to see like how, yeah, they gain a couple pounds, maybe a couple more pounds, and it's like, but it's not like some people, I don't want to talk about like eating disorders because I know everyone has their own thing, but like
Yeah.
maybe, like I can see that happening and I'm sure it does. Just like, but a lot of it is just people going back to eating a normal diet, but their body was so depleted that they're like, okay, well, now we're just bigger and not as lean. And you look at yourself in the mirror and you look at yourself in the pit, and, you know, on stage, and you're like,
It's
no,
like a huge difference.
Yeah, like I
In
had
your head,
that.
it's a huge difference.
Of course, I can't. I mean, I get it, and that's not why I have no desire to to be on stage, but that certainly is a factor. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to, like, I like maintaining what I have, and like maybe I'll try to get a little bit leaner sometimes, maybe I'll try to get a little bit bigger sometimes, but like I don't want to be here. Just like, I mean, even like you know, I know you said your brother was a UFC guy, like even like those guys, like wrestlers and fighters that have to drop weight, like that's just hard, dude. Like
it sucks.
Yeah, and you're in the, you know, I mean, fighters, it's whole different because like you're the night before a fight in the sauna trying to drop that last, you know, 10 pounds, heaven forbid, before you go out to get on the scale. And it's just like, I could talk about that forever, but like it's not healthy, you know, to do that like a lot. So I understand what you're saying. So thank you for your honesty.
Yeah.
I
had
No, go ahead.
No, I had a plan, like, because back in October 2019, I did my first ever show, and I was, okay, just for reference, I'm about, like, I'm not really supposed to be weighing myself because I'm trying to, like, build muscle, so a scale is pointless, but I'm pretty sure I'm, like, 155 pounds right now. My very first show on stage, I was 112.
Wow.
So, you know, the whole, like, cliche thing to, like, go out and have your like post-show meal, like I did that and I ate it and I was like ravenous after that.
Yeah.
And instead of correcting my like overeating, and like I was sensitive to salt, so I was like I could literally like stick a finger in my ankle and like there would be a pit there from all the salt. So instead of like correcting that, I just jumped into another show 2 months later.
Got it.
So just cut again, more cardio. And then I had a plan to like, you know, like reverse diet, slowly bring back food, get back in the gym. I'm literally in the middle of a set and I pull up like the NPC news. This was March 2020 of just everything being canceled. And I'm just like, you know what? Fuck this. I left the gym. I like left the gym and I had like, I don't even know what I had, like pizza probably or something. And I'm just like, this is bullshit. And then all the gyms closed. I was getting stir crazy. I was trying to like go for walks around my neighborhood. And then it was my birthday. So I remember like my husband went to sleep and I ate half of my birthday cake.
Oh, wow.
I don't even like, and because I'm eating like sufficiently now, I don't have those urges. I'm just like, okay, it's been 3 hours. Like let me go eat my meal and track it. Like it was bad. It was really bad.
I'm trying to think of this now. Do you know Sean and Holly Covell?
Yeah.
You know them?
Yeah, because they used to be with the same supplement company I was with when I first started, like 5 years ago.
Okay, I just
moved to Florida.
Yeah, I was like just doing the math, and I'm like, wait, they're because I feel like we were talking. This is like kind of like what we were talking about, but we had them on the show a few weeks ago. So okay, that's funny, yeah, because they just opened a gym in Florida somewhere. I forget what it's called, but I can look on my
Fitness Systems.
That's right, Fitness Systems. Yes. And is it near where you are?
They're like an hour, like a hour 30 south and west, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully I can get back to Florida this fall and do some shows and go check out their gym. One of my favorite things is, you know how like I travel a lot for work, you know? But people travel and they collect, I don't know, shot glasses or whatever. My thing is when I travel, I like to go to different gyms.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like, I don't know, I've always been fascinated with like just what's the culture like in this gym? What kind of equipment do they have? Like what amenities do they, like all of that. Like I love it because there's just so many, and then like, oh, like how do people work out here? I don't know. It's just like a thing like that. Cause I travel so much that like I go to gyms everywhere and it's just like, I don't know. It's just like a cool thing for me. So I'm excited to go check out their gym when I'm in Florida. Okay. One more question. If you were me, what question would you have liked me to ask you? So it's like a flip, but also another flip.
I don't know. You kind of asked them all.
I did. I'm
It's
so
like
good at my
it's like
job.
the origins and
Yeah,
how everything just comes full circle. I'm Italian. I talk with my hands a
me too. Well, I'm not
lot.
Italian, but I talk with my hands a lot too.
I saw you do this. I'm like, is he Italian?
No, not Italian. I'm Mexican.
Okay.
But I do talk with my hands a lot.
Mhm.
Okay. Tell our listeners where they can find you.
Oh, well, I'm not giving you my address, that's for sure.
Mm.
Instagram is the one I'm most active on.
Okay.
J9 Lives.
Yeah, J9 Lives. Is that like, have you died and come back to life, or do you like cats, or is that just like a fun
Well,
because your name is Janine?
I do have two cats, Gamora and Nebula. They're hiding, but
Or is that a play on your name?
yeah. So
Got it.
there was a TV show, I think, on like the Disney Channel, like My Life as a Teenage Robot, and her name was like XJ9. So that's yeah.
I think that's after.
It's like the no.
I think that's after my time. I was like Mickey Mouse Club. That's how old I am.
Well, another one is it's like an older Japanese cartoon. I don't know the name, but there was a robot on there also named J9. So that's just been my nickname forever.
J9.
So yeah, but originally my Instagram account was J9 Cosplays, but it's like I do so much. And then in addition to nursing, working out, cosplaying, I kind of made a side hustle like baking. So I go to farmers markets and I bake. So it's like I don't want to limit myself. So my friend was like, "Oh, how about you do like J9 Lives?"
Wait, so when you say you go to farmers markets and bake, do you?
Here, I'll show you.
Yeah, like you mean you bake and then you sell your stuff at the farmers market?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. No, because in the way you said it, I'm like, does she show up and then macaron? Is that now? Would you call that a macaron or a macaroon?
Yes, you said it right.
It's a macaron, right?
Yes.
Because macaroons are the other things with.
Those are the ones with like coconut.
Yeah, and I don't like those because I don't like coconut.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like the Grinch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's great.
So for the convention I worked at and got like shamed all over the internet, I dressed up as Belle because she's French.
Oh.
So I sold macarons as Belle, and now I have people like both markets I worked at. They said, "Oh, we saw you in Miami, so like that's how we know you." And
oh wow.
So I don't know. It's just that kind of came out again because of like isolation, having nothing to do.
Got it.
Those take hours to make, and instead of trying to get my like mind right, like working out, I'm like, let me just bake. So
okay, macarons. You talked about. This is just a fun fact, but I'll forget it. So you talked about Belle.
Yeah.
So when I was in college, I went to Cal State Fullerton, and I had a crush on this girl, and I'll say her name too because I don't know what happened to her. Her name was Anna Marie Vargas, and she ended up getting cast as Belle at Disneyland. Ooh. And then she went to the Disneyland in Tokyo, and I don't know what happened. And I don't know what happened to her after that. And you just reminded me of that. And so Anna Marie Vargas, this was like 20 years ago, but I used to have a huge crush on you, and I hope you're doing well.
No, the Tokyo, I've seen pictures of Disney in Tokyo. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I want to.
If I ever lived there, I probably wouldn't come back.
I'm not like a Disney nerd, but I do love Disneyland.
It's not the same anymore.
Going to Disneyland. I mean, you get to be an adult, and you know it is what it is. But I'll tell you this. So the Star Wars shit is so fucking cool. I'm sorry. Like all that, like a Rise of the Resistance. And if you get a chance to go to Disneyland or Disney World, I don't know if they have them in Europe and whatever, but like if you love Star Wars, dude, that ride and just the whole land, how that like it looks like you're in. Have you been?
Yeah.
To the Star, it like you're in the movie Star Wars. Like it's the cool. I cried. I'm telling you, the first time I cried. I don't care. I cried. My girlfriend was laughing at me. She's like, "Why are you?" I'm like, "This is just like I grew up watching these movies, and this is like a dream come true. Like it's the coolest thing." So yeah, but I do understand what you're saying. Like Disney does for me at least as an adult, you're like, oh, but the Star Wars shit, dude, I'm all about. So
I mean,
okay.
going as a kid, I don't remember it being that crowded. Now when you go,
Of course.
it's like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
granted it's different now because of the restrictions, but like it's just, and then you need to read these blogs like, oh, how to get on the lines, how to eat food. Like, why do you need that? Like, I remember like I was 5 and I met Ariel, and like I don't remember waiting a long time. I just remember like being able to meet her. And a fast pass to meet a character, like why?
I mean, I get it. As someone that kind of goes, my best advice, I know it's hard, but don't go in the summertime.
Yeah.
Because everyone's out of school. Go during the week, like on a random Tuesday or Wednesday, and like, because the weekends and summertime, or like spring break, or anytime when like just kids are not in school, is the worst time to go. And if you can help it, go during the pandemic, because it's fucking awesome, dude. It was the best. No lines, socially distanced, like we got the ride to ourselves. I'm like, can we just, I mean, I don't want the pandemic to last, but like, can we keep this forever? Because it was the best. So that's all.
No, we were just there for a friend's wedding, and I think the week after we came back, they lifted the masks outside. I think masks outside is just so stupid. But
yeah, I mean, we don't have to get into it, but
no.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, Janine, thank you so much for joining us on the POPcast. It was very fun getting to know you and having our listeners get to know you with me. Follow her. We'll put her info in the show notes. And you guys, this has been the Performa POPcast. Tune in next week when our guest will be, I'm not going to tell you, you guys have to come in next week. We'll see you guys.